Hi, everyone. Welcome to Aardvark Interviews. Okay, with the music. My name is Andrew Aardvark. I got Dr. Jose here today, prominent doctor of sociology, retired from NYU. And he'll be putting on the lie detector tests to our great hostess today, our great guestess, the wonderful, the beguiling Tamara Orlova.
Thank you. Yes.
That's not
Hello.
bad.
Hi, everyone.
How you
You guessed
doing?
it right. I'm
Are
very
you
well.
are you calling in from London, England?
Yes, I'm from London. It's quite late, well, late evening, not quite
Okay.
night yet.
Okay, we'll try and get you off early. I know you're a very busy woman. You are the festival director of the DAFTAS Short Film Awards, which is coming up on its third year, correct?
Yes, indeed. And
What
you
was
took part in it. That's
Yeah, our movie was in it. Why did we lose? No, I'm not going to ask you that. I'll ask you later. But 3 years. What was the inspiration?
well, the inspiration for it was it's a long story actually. I lost my partner in October 2019. A couple of days ago was the anniversary, actually, and
I'm sorry.
uh, it's okay, thank you. As I was going through a process of grief, he was very gregarious character. He was always making jokes and spoofing everything on the go. So it wasn't like dad's jokes, the typical predictable dad jokes. He would just spoof everything on the go, and I was missing that side outside of it. I don't think I'm funny. I never think I'm funny. So I was missing that energy. And I'm more organized person. I like my structure and to-do lists. And he was complete opposite of me. So I was missing that. And actually, before he passed away, we've had a conversation. We wanted to uh, make some mock version of BAFTAs because they were getting too political. And he
And,
came up with
and
the
let,
name.
let me cut in for a moment. The BAFTAs are the British Academy Awards. Is that it?
Yeah, British Academy Film and Television Awards.
Okay, thank you.
And so he would cover, he was a celebrity photographer and he would cover BAFTAs every year. And it started getting very political and we were a bit exasperated by it. And I said, let's do something, let's mock the award ceremony. And he
Oh,
said,
wow.
yeah, we call it the DAFTAs. And yeah, it just, came together. And as I was going through the process of grief, I thought that that would be a very good way of kind of recognizing Joe's sense of humor and
Oh.
having something ongoing and lasting that would also encapsulate his sense of humor and his love for life. That
Okay.
was it's a very hard story. A lot of people ask, and I don't know how, it is a story of this festival, so I can't not tell it when people ask. But the first edition, I've had all just over a month to organize,
Wow.
and it was my friends and friends of friends taking part. We've had 4 teams, uh, but it turned out to be well. And second year, we've had 14 films submitted. So even nominated, your film was nominated, was a
Yeah.
big deal. And yeah, third year soon.
Yeah. Well, I guess it wasn't that big of a deal. We lost. But Dr. Jose, do you have any questions for the lovely Tamara?
I'm very much interested in one aspect. If I understand correctly, you and Joe were very much working as a team in at least some aspects of your professional life.
Yeah, in
And
many aspects. Yeah.
okay, right. And I guess the biggest thing that crosses my mind is personally, I assume I would find it very difficult to, let's say, continue with a given direction if such an important part of my reality just evaporated all of a sudden. Do you find it hard to keep to any original concepts that you had with Joe? Are you finding yourself moving in a different direction, or is homage to Joe keeping things in the same direction? I'm just wondering how it's affecting you.
Hmm.
So The DAFTAS is my own project, so that is I have full ownership of that, so to say. With the rest of the projects, I do like the idea of encapsulating Joe in those projects. However, when I had to go to a therapist, obviously, to work through the emotions, and I was explained in very plain language that the person who's left, you can't preserve their energy in any of the projects. So it's either you invest your own energy, put into it, or the project will just stall and die and fall apart. So
Wow.
I had to, I had to sober up to that fact as well. So I do keep we're very much alike in the ways we looked at the world. So I keep it true to myself, and I know that there is a large piece of Joe within me, and our views are similar in many ways.
Let me ask you a question, Tamara.
Mm.
Was it planned on being an in-person festival and then switched to Zoom because of the pandemic? Is that what happened? Or
Yes, first year it was in person.
okay,
Second year it had to be mainly online due to restrictions. We've had a small gathering with only shortlisted team leaders. You couldn't obviously travel, or Artie couldn't travel, but we've had a few of the nominated team leaders attending who were willing to risk.
wow.
I don't know what was the risk, or how much of the risk was there, but people took calculated risks, and some attended. We've had few judges attending as well, but it was a very, very small event, and it was mainly
Okay.
online.
Okay. So, how many submissions did you have in the last festival?
It was 14. We've had 28 teams entered, and 14 persevered and submitted.
Wow. And the interesting thing about this festival, which I've not heard in any other festival, and I know a pretty good bunch about this business. Pat myself on the shoulder there. But you actually pick the movie that will be spoofed, and you have to do it really fast and everything. So you have to really be able to think on your feet. So how was it picked? Was it picked out of a drum or a lottery system, or
It
was
was
there a prayer to Buddha? How was it picked?
So first year we had the draw was took place at an actual venue. We've had obviously only 4 team leaders, so we've had film posters and envelopes, and people just picked up film posters. In fact, first year team leaders picked up their teams out of a hat as well. So first year we've had only individuals taking part, and so the team leaders would just pick random people. Some of them they've met, and some of them they haven't, and they just had to make film all together. This year we couldn't obviously allow a lot of strangers, and I think it worked out better because I could see the quality of films has definitely improved. Sorry, your question was, oh yeah, it was an online draw. All team leaders, or majority of team leaders, turned up to our Zoom call, and there is an online tool called Wheel of Fortune, Wheel of Fortune, and you can enter the names of participants, names of films, and that was carried out with every team leader watching.
So there was no shenanigans.
No
Maybe,
shenanigans.
maybe. Right. Dr. Jose, do you think this is all on the up and up?
Oh, I'm sure that there's a
Yes.
certain amount of fun involved too. But yeah, it sounds like an open venue where I guess there are not many places where one would think you could get such a chance to have your stuff shown, if you will. I think the whole concept of it to begin with. I mean, I have to assume that Daft is a play on them being a daffy direction of the
Yeah.
of the film. Yeah. So the bottom line is that I can understand that it also I would think it would have people specifically look for things that are on the sillier end of the spectrum, and I think that there's a lot of really intense humor available when you can keep it to, you know, something short, because you get to get your punch in there, as
Yeah.
opposed to having to produce an hour and a half, 2 hour long piece of work. But yeah, I'm sure it's very real.
Okay. Let me ask you, Tamara.
Yeah.
Enough of you, Jose. He could go on for hours like that. How many people did you have on the judging panel?
Ooh, I wish I knew from the top of my head. Let me think. I want to say we've had 6 judges judging the main categories, and we've had 2 special judges, one judging best makeup, and one judging best costume. I think
Okay.
it was 6.
You were involved in the judging process?
No,
No, you weren't.
no.
Really?
It's so hard for me to judge. Yeah, no, I wouldn't.
And you being the festival director, though, you just said you people handle it?
I obviously manage judges in terms of, you know, I make sure that they receive films, they
Right.
know what they have to judge, they know the categories. I request them to send preliminary notes, and I would chair the meeting. So this year I chaired the meeting because it was on Zoom and not all judges met each other. So it was, you know, I was the force that kind of brought them all together. Last year, the judging took place on the day of the awards, before the awards. I've sent off all judges to a restaurant. It was at a hotel. I've sent all judges to a restaurant. I said, please decide and do not tell me who is going to win. I don't want to know, because they were all, you know, I knew them personally, and I've been to some of the sets as well during the day, just so that I can learn, you know, the challenges on the day and how would it work and how to improve. So I was very closely involved with the production of those spoofs. So first year I said, I don't even want to know who's won.
Okay. Do you think any biases can come up at all in these festivals?
I think biases are inevitable. We're all biased.
Okay.
The only thing that I of course try to bring people with varying experiences. So we have a film critic, you know, who would judge from his point of view. We have an award-winning actress, and producer, so she would judge from her point of view, you know, her humor. And we have one very technically advanced director, but he's also a sound engineer and composer, so he
Wow.
would know very technical bits. You know, he would say, oh no, there is color grading is off, or white balance is off here, so, you know, so
Yeah.
so we bring this team. And we have also one of the main judges was from Comedy Crowd. It's an online platform.
Yeah.
I don't think it's only UK, I think it's worldwide as well. So they post all comedy related opportunities within the industry. So
Right.
we've had, you know, we have a diverse, in a broad sense of the word, team of judges, and they have to come to a conclusion.
Okay.
So,
Say somebody wants to enter. Are you gonna do it again next year? First of all, first things first.
so next season we'll actually kick off in November. We'll start taking pre-registrations in November. The film draw will be, I want to say 7th or 3rd of February, I think, is the film draw. The film submission deadline will be 13th of March, and the awards are preliminary schedules for 13th of April. So,
okay. So next month the
ahead.
whole thing begins again.
Yeah.
Okay. Are there any restrictions when people are submitting that they should know about? You know, somebody's watching in the audience, they're saying, well, you know, do I qualify? What are the restrictions? What do you say then?
It's the restrictions are many. So first of all, it has to be, you can't choose your film. You are
Right.
in for a surprise. It's just luck of a draw. You have to make a spoof a film that will draw. So this is the biggest challenge. I think I see it as a challenge. You know, there are people who just crave for this opportunity and they will spoof anything and everything. So that it has to be obviously very short turnaround.
Right.
The film has to be up to 6 minutes long, including opening and closing titles. all content has to be original, including music. So it's either open license or original music. The budget of a film, the team leaders have to submit a budget as well. The budget of a film is £200, which is probably around $220, $230.
Because our budget was $1 million. Was that too much?
And you didn't win. How come?
Because we suck. But honestly, actually, we went on to 4 other film festivals. But I do thank you for putting us on the mark. We premiered in London, thanks to you. Very sensational of you. And, that put us on for embedding. And we actually won an award in India. We came in 2nd place in India at a film festival there. A French team beat us. So now I kind of hate French people, but it's a phase. I'm going to talk to Dr. Jose about that phase later on. But Dr. Jose, do you have any questions for our lovely, lovely, lovely guest?
Actually, if I'd say you seem to have a very varied background. A fashion model, exhibited artist, you're a presenter, you're into film production. Are there any suggestions that you would have, having such a rounded background, for people that are starting out in the artistic world? Some kind of a nugget of truth that you found across different venues that might help people out?
Be a decent human being, I think, is the biggest advice I could give, because we all talk about things and our experiences, be it on set or in terms of organizing an event or running an event, and just being a decent human being, I think, helps you to progress potentially further or faster. I think that should be the cornerstone before you do anything, I think. But that's very important, because we all talk, we all can recommend someone, or we all could say, maybe not this person, they weren't particularly great. So I think being genuine and loving what you do or what you want to do leads to being a decent and going the extra mile. I don't know. It's probably not unique at all.
Well, no, it's actually very interesting. I would, I guess what I'm thinking of it is, so often I hear it's not what you know, is who you know, and yada yada yada. So I think being, essentially true to yourself and being able to be, relate well to others and to share what you have, it helps out. So that sounds very interesting. Thank you.
Thank you.
Right. Now, you used to, I guess you still do, interviewed big, mucho, big celebrities, right? Did you ever say, oh God, I have to interview this bloke now? Ugh.
No, I don't think so.
Come on.
No, it's the adrenaline that kicks in. So I interview a lot of people, as part of the festival or premiere, or press junket. So there is always the element of adrenaline that kicks in. So no, and also I'm very curious about. Yeah, go on.
Let me ask you a question. This is very important. Dr. Jose will appreciate the sociological importance of this, and people in our audience, you can ask questions too. But have you ever been uncomfortable during an interview where you thought a bloke or someone was being inappropriate, and how would you handle that for our audience who interview people? How do you handle something that comes up and you're like, this is a little inappropriate and shit? What would you say, even if you have not experienced it firsthand? What do you think is the best way of handling that kind of situation?
I think with me, it's I have the vibe of being unapproachable generally, so people don't attempt that sort of things with me. But yeah, I could totally say, hey, oi, don't you dare, and not in a rude way, I try to kind of smoothen the edges, but I'm very frank in all situations. I try to be honest and frank in all situations. So I don't think it ever went to a point where I felt uncomfortable about it, because I always kind of steer it. And as I said before, I'm very organized and very professional. So maybe I have my own, I don't know, rituals that I perform that just scare people off, or not scare people off, but set them in the right frame.
So preparation's important, you believe?
Definitely. Yeah. You see, you're very prepared. You came like you know all my life story. And I appreciate that.
I had one curiosity. If I understand, you're also a life coach to people of the artistic ilk, if you will. Is it tougher dealing with that kind of an individual than mere mortals? I mean, because I get the impression that
mortals.
It's a different kind of person.
I don't think so. No, because we're all humans. When you coach someone, you don't coach a profession. You work with a human being. I guess the only thing that is easier is for coachee to perceive like they have some common ground with you. So in that regard, it's just easier to to for them to open up, perhaps. But we all have the same. We all create the same problems, be it an accountant or a stylist, I think.
Excellent. Okay, we're going to take a break now. You're locked into Hello Hooray. Is that it, Dr. Jose? Hello Hooray is the production company. This is Aardvark Interviews. Our special guest today is Tamara Orlova. She's just done about everything. So, when we come back to the next show, please ask questions if you like. She'll answer them to the best of our ability. We have Dr. Jose here, retired sociologist, who looks at me kind of oddly from time to time, but then that's the way that goes. So, hello, hooray! Look us up on Patreon. Throw us some bucks. Throw us some money. So we'll take a break, and we're going to come back. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to Aardvark Interviews, a production being produced by Hello Hooray. I'm still trying to get this name down, but it's Hello Hooray. All right. You hear that, Dr. Jose?
I'm all ears.
All right. Today's guest, we have a special guest calling in from London, England. This is a continental kind of show. We had a rapper from London the other week.
Okay, who was that?
Tamara. His name was Le Magnifique. I don't know if you've ever heard of him, but
I don't think I've met him.
He does sociological raps about the royalty, about everything English, and it was fascinating. It was on one of our, 2 or 3 shows back, and he called in from London, England as well. So, we seem
so
to.
Cool. I like what he's doing.
It was really cool. But let me ask you, is there anything going on in London? I know one of the films was about the parking situation, which was very, very funny and everything, but I'm sure it's not funny to the people who live there. It's probably a friggin' mess, right?
Yes, it is.
How could they fix this parking situation in London? This worries me tremendously.
I don't think it's fixable. I don't think they want to fix it, to be honest. I think it's all anti-car ownership narrative that to discourage people from using cars. So I think the vision is bicycle, to be honest, for London, and I don't see there is a huge interest in fixing this issue, sadly.
Okay. Let me ask you, you were in Cannes Film Festival, is that correct?
Yeah.
Or am I just talking out of my ass here?
I did. Yeah.
All right. And you were also at the Venice Film Festival.
This year, yeah.
Which one is better?
Cannes.
It is, huh?
Cannes is better, yeah.
Was it incredible? Tell us a little bit about your experience, huh?
So
please.
My partner, Joe, has introduced me to Cannes Film Festival. And this year was my 5th Cannes.
Wow.
which actually makes me a baby, you know. I'm still in my nappies compared to some people go there 20, 30, 40 years. So I'm just starting out my Cannes journey. But it was different this year. It was different in a way that there were practically no events. Cannes is very famous for its lavish events
Yeah.
and great celebrity attendance at after parties. This year there were some very secluded after parties for films, but again with very limited numbers. However, what surprised me is the lineup of films and the celebrities in attendance was amazing. I didn't
Really?
expect that people would travel there.
Who were
So
some of the notable celebrities?
well, Spike Lee was one of the judges. Maggie Gyllenhaal was one of the judges. Matt Damon was there with Stillwater. Sparks Brothers were there. Adam Driver, Marion Cotillard. Obviously, the French Dispatch, Léa Seydoux couldn't travel, so that would be Tilda Swinton and Timothée Chalamet, and Bella Hadid with her famous tree dress that everyone probably have seen. So there were quite a few, not as many as usually, but it was a still fairly good lineup. So it
Wow.
was very good. I'm very glad I went.
Dr. Jose, we have today, if you don't know Dr. Jose, he's been on previous shows, Dr. Sociology, and he comes to fill on the show. And he tells me later on if the guests haven't been lying or telling the truth to me. So let me ask you, Dr. Jose, what do you think about having these big festivals?
Well, to be honest, I guess I would think that they're part of a general mechanism for getting the word out, for bringing in business, for building hype, for showcasing, for in some cases I would assume they're letting new people flap their wings. In other places they're verifying that somebody that's been around for a while still has it. In general, I would say that they're probably the bread and butter of extending things during something like COVID. I don't know that we no longer run out to the movies and the theaters as much as we used to. There, and for somewhere you have to generate people getting involved, people wondering what's there and letting them know where to find what they want to, the type of thing they want to look for. So yeah, it's something that works. So don't fix it.
Well, let me ask you a question, Tamara. What if me and Dr. Jose wanted to crash the party at Cannes? Would they throw us out? Is the security good there, so we shouldn't do that? What's the story with the credentials and everything?
The security is always good, but there are some very good gate crashers as well.
Yeah.
So there is no uncrashable party, I guess.
Very good.
But you know that you have to really have Teflon shoulders. I couldn't do that. I don't know how to turn up to an event and pretend I was meant to be here. People who know how to do that, they just walk through,
Okay. My last credit, I did a TV pilot. I got an executive producer credit for that. And let me tell you, thank you, Tamara. Thank you. But, being an actor is easy compared to being a producer, I learned. And now I hear or read that you are throwing your hat into the ring to be a co-producer for a feature-length film. Is this true?
Correct.
Tell us about this. Are you going to have the massive headaches I had?
Well, I have DAFTAs already, so I don't think it's more headache is possible. But yes, it's a feature film, directed, written, and co-produced by award-winning film director Howard Ford. It is in development at the moment. We aim to shoot it early next year in Spain. So it's all happening right now at the moment. I would tell you the working title, but we're still thinking about it. I don't want to say that something that would be wrong.
No, it's okay. It's okay. Just lie to me. But let me ask you, What is your job? What are your duties as a co-producer?
So we've been to Film Recce a couple of weeks ago. It will be obviously logistical issues on the day and getting people over there. Liaising with permissions, liaising with work permits and visas, because due to COVID, we Brits now have to have permissions to film in Europe. So it will be a bit of paperwork, but it also will be very hands-on on actual set. So I will be on set as well.
All right, let me ask you. I'm not even supposed to ask these questions, but it's my show, so
Go on.
producers, take it easy. What is the COVID situation like in the UK?
In the UK, I haven't been watching news that much recently because my Mac has died on me, so I don't know the latest in the news. But from the anecdotal experience, so I went to cover some premieres at London Film Festival as well. It is much more relaxed compared to, say, Italy.
Yeah.
People are still asked to wear masks at the events. Not everyone does, because now it's not anymore a legal requirement, it's a recommendation, so people can choose not to do that. In Italy, for example, Italy and France, we had to have some sort of pass sanitaire or green pass that you need to show to get into a venue.
I was just going to ask you about that. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And in London, you could do a lateral flow test and self-declare the system we have here. So you can get free tests from pharmacy, and you'd register them and you just confirm your test result.
All right. Let me ask you, do you
yeah.
think the whole industry of filmmaking has changed dramatically because of all this?
It definitely added a cost to the production. So I've heard up to 20% of added cost due to COVID. It's training of COVID marshals, it's COVID tests, it's isolation days, etc. So up to 20%, of course. But I've spoken to one lady who is a friend of mine. She has her own location scouting company, a location company in the UK, and she said that she's had the busiest 6 months on record.
Wow.
So probably due to first lockdown, where everyone was scared of filming and didn't know how to go about it. Now it's all booming. It's more costly. That's why we see many more TV series coming out or being made. More than films, I suppose, but it's all booming. From what
I can jump in. How are in the United States? There are multiple delays on deliveries for all sorts of goods and what have you. How might that be affecting the general industry there? And secondly, being in the co-production end of it, what happens when things fall behind schedule? How do you deal with something like that? Not having the wherewithal to really plan well ahead.
Sure. So we are being constantly scared that there will be turkey shortage and whatnot, and Christmas toy shortage. So we're yet to see. Probably there will be some shortages, but I think a lot of shortages we've seen thus far were largely to do with people just panic buying stuff. If everyone goes to a store today, right now, and buys a loaf of bread, then just won't be enough bread. So even though we just did. And in terms of, I don't know, was that correct answer?
Well, on this side of the pond, building materials are scarce. If you want to build a set, if you need to put together something like that, I was wondering if you're running into trouble along those lines.
Yes, in terms of building, yes, you have to be very inventive. I guess for sets, you have certain leeway. For construction sites, definitely it has to be, say, certified material, certified steel, traceable. For film sets, it's a bit different. Could be potentially a bit easier. Now with speaking of the film that I'm working on at the moment, we try to get as much shot or in actual locations as opposed to it being in studio. So that's why we went for location recce. We want to see the natural landscape, and also for filming at the moment. I don't know if you've seen, say, James Bond latest installment of it. You go there and you see, wow, the landscapes are amazing. The vista, after spending 1.5 years mostly in isolation, you just think, oh my God, I want that. So, filming as much as possible outside, outdoors, beautiful drone shots. I think that's the winner.
Yeah. Wow.
And by the way, who do you report to?
In terms of
who are you responsible to for a schedule, for being on time for a completion?
So we're working together with the film director and writer. He's co-producers with me, and we're working on that. And yes, if something runs behind, I guess Andrew could also testify to that. Just have to invent, okay, we're not going to do this shot, we're going to do it other way around, or you just have to go and rewrite some scenes. And yeah, it's always working on the go. Never be too comfortable.
Okay, let me ask you, who's your favorite actor?
I don't know. I don't have favorites, be it actor, music, band, food. I don't really.
Okay, let me rephrase that. Who's your second favorite actor, musician, band?
Who is my second favorite actor, musician, band? Everyone who's taken part in the DAFTAS.
Oh, God. All right. Dr. Jose.
It's easy.
Dr. Jose, who's your favorite actor?
I think it would be Andrew Aardvark would have to be up there among the
of course,
top of the line.
Well, thank you very much.
I do have another question for you, Tamara. I couldn't help seeing I saw a clip of you asking a question about synchronicity at a particular location. There were a lot of big stars up on the stage. And do you come hunting for bear? Did you have a prepared question? Was it spontaneously developed in your mind when you got there? How does that work?
Yeah, I don't normally come in with questions. That particular instance, it was at the Toronto Film Festival. It was a press conference of A Star Is Born, and the question just really popped into my mind because not the topic, the events that led up to making this film and throughout making this film sounded to me like there was a lot of synchronicity, but no one kind of put a word to it. And obviously there was, the host was asking questions beforehand, plus several journalists asked questions from the room, and yeah, it just felt to me like a natural kind of encapsulates what was happening or what I've heard into one question to let them answer that.
Okay,
Yeah,
let me ask you a question. Going back to the DAFTAs, are you on Film Freeway or one of the sites where people can see about this festival?
We're on Film Freeway. However, we're not. We're unlike any other festival or any other festival I know of. So we don't accept already made film.
Right.
The Film Freeway is good for getting submissions from films already made and produced. However, we're accepting fresh work. So there is a clash a little bit, although yes, we are on Film Freeway. And very exciting news, actually, I just confirmed today that winners of our third season will be shown at a Brighton Fringe. I'm not sure if you're familiar with the concept of fringe festivals.
Yeah, I am. I've been as an actor at two of them, actually, in the States.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
Brighton's in England.
Yeah, Brighton, England. So we will have a few screenings, and we'll have press and industry screening before the public screening. So all the nominated films will be shown at Brighton Fringe as well, which is very exciting.
Oh, that congratulations to you. That's excellent. But what if somebody had already shot a 5-minute movie about, oh, well, what is the time lapse between the BAFTAs and the DAFTAs?
So it changes every year.
Yeah.
First year we've had our awards before BAFTAs.
Ah, interesting.
2021 we've had quite a while after the BAFTA awards. And I think, well, in 2022 there will be 1 month's delay. So the submission deadline will be the day of BAFTA awards. So when everyone submits their films, they
Oh,
can go and relax and watch the BAFTA. And then we will have 1 month to review films and work on the publicity and organize the awards.
okay, let me ask you a question. What should somebody do? Break it down for me. Somebody goes to Film Freeway, sees your wonderful, wonderful festival, and I thank you wholeheartedly for premiering our film, #Nomad Life. There, I mean, it just opened up the doors for so many other festivals and stuff. So, thank you. You were the first.
Thank you. My pleasure.
What do you submit? You're submitting. So do you submit your accomplishments, your resume? You know, hello, I'd like to be in your festival. I'm from Scotland. You know, here's my resume. You know, I mean, what do you do?
First of all, I would like to say a bit about, so you said, you know, your film premiered in London, and that was a very important thing for me to be able to show those films on a big screen in London, because not every short film, you know, or filmmaker of a short film will get to see their film on a big screen. So for me, it was very important to screen nominated films and to give that experience to team leaders. Unfortunately, you couldn't be there. You know, we were very far apart, but yes, it did premiere. You know, and it got quite a few laughs, and I loved it myself. So I was a bit disappointed that it didn't win anything. Now back to submission. So
Yeah.
our registration page will actually be on DAFTAS.org.
Okay.
That will go live. It's inactive for the moment. That will go on 1st of November.
1st of November. DAFTAS.org.
Remember, 1st of November.
Oh,
And
no.
it's a simple questionnaire, you know, just to give me understanding of what type of experience we're talking about, we're dealing with, you know, just standard. Are you entering as a team or by yourself?
Right.
Your previous experience, how did you hear about us? It's very generic. Now, what I want to do different this year is I want to introduce a fully refundable registration fee. So it will be a small fee, say £20, that will be fully refunded to all filmmakers upon submission of their film.
Wow.
To prevent a lot of
Okay.
and whoever drops out, you know, the money will go towards the main prize for the winner. So yes, the registration will be, that's the timeline we're seeing now, and the registration will start on the 1st of November. It will be on the DAFTAS.org website. I will make it sure that it has a huge link on the front page.
Okay, so that's DAFTAS.org. And, you know, just saying, you know, for myself as a professional actor, executive producer, blah, blah, blah. But I sincerely thank you. You know, I'm still wondering why we lost and I didn't get Best Actor. But that's beside the point. But I sincerely thank you that you did. You know, Artie came up with some wonderful festivals. I talked with Artie before the show tonight. He couldn't make it, but he sends his you know, apologies and hellos to
Thank
you,
you. Bless him.
Tamara. He said, "You're a wonderful person." By the way, he texted me and he said, "Oh, she's wonderful, man." You know, so
Thank you. I really appreciate that, and you know, to hear that people get something out of it, you know, that they get something valuable out of this experience is very important to me, because
Yeah.
we often say, get bitter, oh, I didn't win anything, and
Yeah.
but I would love to hope that everyone gets something out of it, and
Oh,
everyone learns a lot through the
yeah.
process as well.
And for all you people listening, don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. Suck it up. If you lost, you lost. That's it. But don't get mad like a little child about the people who gave you an opportunity. Remember that. They don't have to do anything. They could look at your resume and go, oh, ruddy bloke he is, and just throw it away. So say thank you for the opportunity and just mourn on your own. Dr. Jose, what do you got to say about this situation?
Well, I actually what I have right now is just one quick question that comes to mind. On this side of the pond, comedy always had a certain liberty to cross certain boundaries that were, let's say, reserved in a lot of places. Do you find that that the political situation in Europe is inhibiting any kind of comedic statement? Anything that is anything verboten? You're not supposed to cross that line, or do you still have the freedom to really just scream whatever you need to scream?
It's a very big question, and obviously things like racism or incitement of violence, direct incitement of violence is absolutely not acceptable. In our films, they wouldn't just be shortlisted, and I've spent a lot of hours thinking about it. How do we navigate it? And I had to put a lot of trust into filmmakers, and they produced all brilliant films, even though that I thought, oh, this is very political film, and it has sensitive topics, and I was ready to draw certain films, but then a dear friend of mine who's also involved in the DAFTAS told me, don't you dare, that's the point of it, that's what comedians are in for, and just have to deal with it, and just let people express their own creativity. And I was very pleasantly surprised, and I should not I will try to give freedom as possible to filmmakers, because otherwise there is no creativity, craft.
That's absolutely commendable, because what's being construed as violence these days sometimes surprises me. But to still feel that you have a message and that you have a venue where people can get their message out is very refreshing. And you stay strong. Thank you.
All right.
I'm trying.
Dr. Jose, do you have the 3 questions tonight?
Well, my first question is somewhat personal. Joe is no longer with you. And do you, well, I mean, not that personal, but do you still see people that were with him during his, let's say, the musical area in his life, and or the motorcycling that he did? Do you still, get in touch with the people that were in his background there, or was it also your background?
Yeah, it is very much my background as well, and I see all our showbiz crowd all of the time. I continue working with his colleagues, photographers. I continue seeing them at different festivals, and it does feel like one big family. And to them, it's also, so when you lost someone who is very close to you, you think about it every day. You feel the loss every day. A lot of people who would see Joe and myself at events, they only remember that Joe's not here, when they go to those events, and they think, oh, where is Joe? That's when they remember that Joe's not with us. And I've heard from quite a few people that me being there and going and be seen reminds them of Joe. So I carry the memory of Joe with me, and so they appreciate that as well. So it's a weird combo.
What about any doors that seem to have closed to you that were open while he was with you, if you don't mind that question.
Mm,
Has that occurred?
I can't recall. I don't think so. I never thought about it. Maybe I'll think about it. Maybe I'll come up with something.
Interesting.
But I never seek out closed doors, if you know what I mean. Maybe there is something that's closed, but I just perhaps didn't notice. Too busy.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay, that's good. I only notice them when I knock on them and they don't open, but I was just wondering if the occurrence might be, anyway.
Not that I can record.
Do you have a third question, Dr. Jose?
Well, I'd say, are you open to a future emotional relationship yet? Do you find it hard to even consider that? And how do you feel about, that end of your life?
Again, big question. I'm married to my work at the moment. I have so much going on that I just don't think about it. But then I was never kind of person who thought of or planned my personal life. It's just always naturally occurred and naturally happened. So I just don't really sit and ponder, oh, where is my prince? Where is my next prince? It will happen eventually, if I live long enough, it will definitely happen. But I don't make plans.
Bravo. I think you're a strong woman, and I commend you on what you're doing, and I think that you're an example to a lot of us. So
Thank
whatever
you.
you're
Thank
doing,
you so
don't
much.
change.
Yeah, that's
I
beautiful.
shall persevere. Thank you so much.
Okay. What's your favorite dessert?
Ooh, I don't know. Gin tonic,
What's your second favorite dessert?
champagne.
Champagne. The dessert of champions. All right. What's your social media contacts where people could say, "Hey, I don't know, I'd like to get involved in the festival," or I have a movie, maybe I'd like Tamara to co-produce or something. Where can they best reach you? Not your phone number or some crazy shit like that. Just,
Yeah, probably not my phone number.
yeah.
So my social media, I think my first and main social media would be the Instagram account I have. And oh my God, I should have thought about it. It's very awkward Instagram handle. So Tamara OA Ikon, an icon with K for Icon London magazine. It's
Is
at
that Ikon London magazine?
Yeah.
Okay, you still with them?
Yes. Well, that's editor-in-chief of that magazine now. That was founded by Joe, my late partner.
Oh,
I'm carrying the torch for that one.
God, you're
So it's
such a
Tamara OA Icon.
strong, fabulous woman.
May I
I'm
ask, is the
sorry.
A official? Was there any kind of a, was it just a partnership or was it official?
Well, it was just a partnership, legally. I don't know, maybe a couple of years into our relationship, Joe started submitting my pictures with his surname, because he would do celebrity pictures at events, and he would just syndicate them worldwide with his surname. But yeah, we were engaged, but it didn't happen.
Well, I'm sure he's
So
looking down.
legally, no,
He's looking down right now and smiling, saying,
I'm
"Wow,
sure.
what an amazing woman." So,
That's pretty cool.
Jose, Dr. Jose, do you have any ending questions to wrap this all up in a sociological, crazy manner?
Well, you're extremely versatile. Is there something that you wish you had done that you miss?
Okay. Is there something I wish I had done that I missed? I don't know how that related to your question, but what comes to mind is that every new year when we make New Year resolutions, every year my resolution is to do less. So I guess, I'm not kind of person to regret or even look back a lot. I'm very future oriented person, but one thing I do need to, and I'm working hard on it, I do need to work on is actually giving myself some time to rest.
Okay. There you go. I wish you copious personal time in the future.
Copious personal time. That
sounds no regret.
Sounds like a threat. All right. So that's our show. We'll end with a threat. Every show we end with a new threat. So thank you, Dr. Jose, for coming on and taking her vitals. Was she pretty honest?
I think she comes across as very real. Absolutely.
Look at that. That's the best thing Dr. Jose has ever said. Because usually he goes, a little shady. Thank you.
Don't think so.
Thank you, Tamara Orlova, Ikon magazine.
Yes.
What do you do there?
Editor-in-chief. So I oversee the coverage and
wow,
write and interview people and do all sorts.
Jesus, how does she do so much, Dr. Jose?
I don't know.
She needs more time to herself.
Right. I need more time to rest.
And we have the head of the DAFTA Awards, and there's a British expression that means, oh, he's deaf, mate, which means, a little loco, crazy. So look that up on Film Freeway. I'll tell you, it was a good launching pad for us. It was a wonderful experience. And the whole team there was just sensational,
And, may I say a few words before we close that? I really like what you've done with it, so you've created a film, and I think you are the only team that went so far with the film, with promoting the film. And maybe next year I will introduce some sort of award for marketing, because filmmakers create film, but they don't necessarily think, okay, what's the festival circuit? How can I promote my film? Where else can I screen my film? There are so many fringes and festivals you can submit your film as well as. And if you have this project, I want everyone to follow your, in your footsteps and learn from what your team have done. So bravo to that.
Thank you, Tamara. That's too much. You're sensational. And thank you, Dr. Jose, for coming on again.
Thank you, Dr. Jose.
It's been a pleasure.
That's our show. Next week is our Halloween special, which we celebrate in the States. So I'm going to have some pretty horrific people on next week. I may have a werewolf. There may be a ghost, but you won't see them. And, maybe a witch or two. So that's every Monday night at 5:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's 10:30 p.m. in London. And it's part of the Hello Hooray Corporation, Patreon, Hello Hooray. And my Patreon will be up soon. I just hate begging for money. But I may do it anyway. So, what do you think? You think I should do it?
Who do you ask?
I don't know. The general chamber.
I think you should do it.
All right. Thank you.
I think you should both keep kicking ass and taking names, because the world needs more and more of you. So thank you for letting me be a small part of this.
Thank you, Dr. Jose. Thank you so much, Tamara, for being our wonderful special guest tonight. Next week, see you. Halloween special. Boo, boo, boo.
See you down the road.
Thank you.
Happy trails.
Thank you.